There was once a young man standing at the back of a crowded hall. This young man was holding an idea that he had never shared with anyone before. This young man, prior to this time, had read so much books as regarding this idea. He had studied it for years. He had watched videos. This young man had even learned from people who are way smarter than him in this field. So at this moment, it was believed that this young man is much more knowledgeable in this field. But something happened when the moment came and this young man was called to come forward and express his intellect to the audience. This young man's feet felt cold. He couldn't move. His voice stayed silent. At some point, he told himself that the best thing he could do was go back home and come back when he's more ready. At the same time, another young man across the other end of the hall was called forward. And trust me, this other young man was not as intelligent as this guy. I mean, he was not even half prepared as this guy was. But something struck the audience. When this guy was called forward, he moved to the front confidently. His ideas was not perfect. In fact, this guy had so much mistakes going on while expressing it. There were so many gaps, but this guy spoke with so much belief in himself. And there was this trust that this guy had in himself, and that was what captured the attention of the audience. And guess what? At the end of the event, this belief in himself was able to open doors for this guy. It was able to turn simple ideas into an opportunity. That moment was really hilarious, but personally, it taught me something. It was like a whole story, of the type of life that people live today. So let me tell you what you need to know. Most times, real success doesn't depend on what you know or how much you know. It depends on the confidence that you have built in yourself. I have said this in my previous videos, and I'm going to say it again. Life doesn't reward the smartest people. It rewards the ones who believe that they belong there. It rewards the ones who dare to speak. Life rewards the ones who dare to try, who dare to fail, and to try again. The thing about knowledge is that knowledge stays locked inside of you until confidence gives it the permission to come out. Otherwise, it will stay there. So back to the story, this young man from the back of the hall went back home that day disappointed, not because he lacked the ability, but because he lacked the belief. And guess what? That's how dreams quietly disappear. Not in loud failures, but in silent hesitation. But here's the game changer. Years later, something changed. He realized that waiting to feel confident was costing him more than risking embarrassment. So the next time an opportunity came, his hands shook. His heart actually raised like every other human being. It is okay to feel nervous, but this is one bold step that he made. This guy stepped forward anyways. Even when his voice wasn't perfect and his words were just flawless, but this guy showed up. Anyway, something he never did when the previous opportunity showed up. And when he made this bold step this time, something incredible happened. At this point, each step he took, no matter how small, built his confidence. Each time he spoke, he became even stronger. And the same knowledge that he once doubted, now began to shine. Not because it changed, but because this guy did. Self-confidence is like that bridge between potential and reality. Without self-confidence, you stay where you are. You keep staring and keep imagining what could have been. But with self-confidence, this is what happens. You are able to simply cross into growth, cross into opportunity, and cross into success, even in moments where you are unsure of the path. Many people fail today because they never try. They never try because they never believed in themselves. Confidence isn't something you're born with. Nobody is born with confidence, but it is something that you build by chasing courage over comfort. So back to the man at the back of the hall. If you are standing at the back of your own hall today, holding ideas, dreams, and abilities inside of you, remember this. The world doesn't need you to be perfect. The world only needs you to be brave, and only brave people only succeed. So believe yourself enough to step forward no matter what it is, because it is until your confidence in self leads. Trust me, success will not have a choice than to follow suit. Have a great day. Cheers.